Hi friends, it's Murph. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm making spaghetti pie for dinner and thought I'd show you how to put it all together. Super easy, so let's get started. In this bowl right here, I have half a box of cooked spaghetti. Now, I measured it, I weighed it. It was 8 ounces before I cooked it. I also measured it after I cooked it, which is about 3 cups. It was a little bit more than that, but we're just gonna say 3 cups. Makes it easier. So now let's make the crust, okay? So I just drained this. I had salted the water when I cooked it, so there's some salt on here, which is really good. I didn't rinse the spaghetti after, okay? To it, I'm going to add 1 just slightly beaten egg. Now you want the spaghetti to cool off for a few minutes, because if not, that egg is going to be scrambled just like that, right? And then to it, well, let's toss it just a little bit. And to it, I'm going to add, this is a half a cup of grated Parmesan cheese. You could add whatever you like. This is what I use, okay? So I'm just gonna toss this together. So this is the crust of the pie, and I like to add the egg for a couple of reasons. I want, maybe just one reason, but I like the crust to hold together. So I wanna cut it and want it to come out in a square or a piece of pie, and I want it to be firm. I don't want to scoop it onto a plate and it all just kind of, my preference only. Don't have to use it if you don't want to. How's that? But that's what it looks like. That's it. We're gonna put it into, this one I'm using, was my mother-in-law's pie plate, which I really, really love, and I use it a lot. It's kind of big, it's a little oversized, and it's a little deeper than normal pie plates. But I'll show you how I made it already, because I also have a casserole dish that I put this in, and I love to use that dish. So we call it spaghetti pie, but you can put it in a casserole dish and you can call it something else. But my family's always called it spaghetti pie. I remember my mom always made this, and I did too, after we've always had like a big spaghetti feed. So we have all kinds of spaghetti left over, and it's just a different way. We're gonna set that aside, okay? The next layer is a cheese layer. This is 4 ounces of softened cream cheese, just so you see. And then I'm gonna add a cup of cottage cheese. Now this is what my family always used. We always had cottage cheese. It just kind of made the casseroles all come together really good. And it's okay if you don't like cottage cheese. You could use ricotta. These are just tips that I'm giving you that my family used, and you're welcome to use something else, okay? I'm gonna put a little bit of my favorite seasoning in this. So I like garlic and pepper. I use this on everything. I find it at the dollar store, the Dollar Tree. You can find it a lot of different places. This is my go-to. And I'm just gonna give it a shake. If I had to guess, I'd probably use a 1/4 teaspoon or 1/2 teaspoon, whatever works for you. You can always add salt and pepper later, but it's really hard to take it out if you use too much, right? So if this was a deeper dish or a bigger dish, it'd be a little bit thinner, but that's okay, I don't mind. You can push it down if you need to. We're gonna top it with the cheese mixture, okay? And just kind of give that a little bit of a spread around, kind of push it down just a little bit. And that's what that's gonna look like. I love the creaminess of the cream cheese. I know a lot of people, like my sister does not like cream cheese, but I'll tell you, I love the creaminess of it. I think it tastes great. And it's what works for my family. So if it doesn't work for you, try something else, right? There's all kinds of cheeses out there. Let me just grab a towel real quick because my hands are gross. Okay, so now let's add the next layer. So you can add whatever you have. I've made this before and I've used leftover meatballs that we've had. You could use ground up hamburger, whatever works, but this is what I bought. Today I'm using this, we have Hannaford near us, and this is called garlic and cheese Italian sausage. You could use a sweet sausage, whatever, but I like my garlic, so this is what we're having tonight. So all I did was I cooked it in a fry pan, and once it was cooled, I cut it up, and that's what's gonna go on top. You could arrange it really fancy, but guess what? I'm not fancy. I just like this in my belly. Okay, so this is almost done. That's really what it's gonna look like. Now the next layer that we're going to add, let's move a few things so we have some room. We're gonna add the sauce. We're gonna add a layer of sauce. Now, I make my spaghetti sauce and I try to make like a really big batch, and I like freeze it in containers like this and have it in the freezer, pop it out when I'm gonna make a casserole like this or anything else. So this is what it looks like. I had already used some of this. I went and measured this and it's about 1.5 cups. You could use a little less, you could use a little more, you could do whatever. A jarred sauce is perfectly fine as well. This is a really great dish on a busy night. So we can make it right after work, top it, throw it in the oven. It's super, super easy. Now we're almost done. We're gonna preheat the oven to 375. And we're gonna pop it in just a second. So I'm going to spread the sauce. I like the sauce to cover the spaghetti. I don't like crunchy spaghetti. I know I've mentioned that before, and I really don't. So I'm gonna cover all of the spaghetti up. Now we're gonna bake this. We're gonna bake it, like I said, at 375, and it's gonna be about 40 to 45 minutes. I'm gonna write this all down for you, so no worries on that. Top it. We need cheese on the top of it, right? Because everyone loves cheese, or you should, because it's really good. Okay, so this is what I'm using. 1/4 cup, this is mozzarella cheese. Put that on. If you don't like that or you don't have it, use what you have, right? Now this, I had a block of Parmesan cheese, and I just used like a vegetable grater or a peeler, and I just made some really big pieces of fresh parm, okay? Now that's Parmesan cheese. I know I mentioned parm before and somebody didn't know. Must be my accent, right? Okay, almost done. So this is also about 1/4 cup. They have it shredded. You can do, maybe you don't have this, add something else, right? I like to top it with a little bit of parsley. I don't have fresh. Today we're using some parsley that I have in the pantry. And that right there is what it's going to look like before we pop it in the oven, okay? Let me set that aside and I'll show you. Oh, one more tip before I let you go, huh? Casseroles always run over, especially if your oven's clean. So my tip, you're either gonna put it on a cookie sheet or you wanna put it on a piece of tin foil, or do both, and then you don't have to scrub the cookie sheet as well. So pop that right in the oven, okay? And let me show you what one looks like. This one's just starting to cool off just a little bit. So let's take a peek. Look at the edges, all browned up, looking good, huh? It smells so good. To me, you could add like a little bit of pepperoni to this, whatever works. My husband walked by a few minutes ago and he goes, "What are you making?" I said, "Spaghetti pie." And he goes, "What? You're putting sausage in it?" I go, "Yeah, because that's what we have, and that's what I wanted tonight." He goes, "I thought we make it with hamburger." I go, "I know, but we're not tonight." So change it up. Try something new. It's all good, right? Let's cut this and see what it looks like. I didn't get out a spatula though. I'm sorry. I usually try to be very prepared, and obviously I'm not today. So we're gonna cut this. This is my second favorite part of my casserole dish. So this is what I use for one. Then we'll have pie on the other. See how it comes out? That's how I like it. I just don't want it to go all over my plate. Take a peek. Could that look any yummier? Want to taste that? I know I do. It's very good. I like it a lot. Nice and cheesy. Oh, so yummy. It works well for us. I'm gonna write this recipe down and post a picture of my recipe card on Facebook From there, I'm gonna send it into, I have a menu tab. All my written recipes are there, so you can look there. Also, if you follow me on YouTube, which I hope you do, you can subscribe to my channel there. No cost to you at all. I'd really appreciate it. And I'll write all the recipe directions out in the description there. So send me a message if you like it, and if you've made any changes to it, I'd love to hear for that. I'd like to hear from you as well with those suggestions. So happy cooking, and I'll see you real soon. Take care.